Hey guys, it's Danny here with another investing video. So I'm liking what I'm doing with my portfolio. Last time we had the margin calls, so that was I think we took a loss of about 1,800, but a lot of nice things since then. So NYL is down quite a lot. I mean, starting to rebound a little bit. What I did is my biggest part of the losses was on NLY. That's the mortgage REIT. So the yield on that is now like in the 15, mid 15 range. It was like 13 before, but it's a lot cheaper. So what I did is I basically just rebought it. So that's obviously causing a wash sale because it's not that far out. So what the wash sale is means I don't get a um, tax breaks for selling at a loss. But the big thing is that I'm changing my cost basis here. It does it gets put into your cost basis that to reduce your tax burden. But the biggest thing is I managed to buy enough shares to really lower my basis. So we moved that basis down to 18.99. The basis before had been about 20 point, 6 or so. So the sort of change across 2,800 shares is about $4,500 in lower basis between 18.99 and 20.6. So that's actually pretty significant. That means, I'm, got that, getting a lot more value out of the yield. I mean, it just makes sense too. I mean, you move from like a 13 low yield, 12 high, 13 low to, 15 mid. So that's pretty advantageous. The other thing too is that my options, my low options on this. Well, I had options at 20, and it was above there. So if that option had, in 2 years had been taken, that would have been a little tiny loss. But now with our basis, we're actually still below. I think we might be in like a first in, first out scenario, so we could still kind of take a loss there, but probably can just do another rewash, somehow, or see what happens. I could take a loss somewhere. That's okay. I mean, 'cause that would then leave the rest of it as gains, coming off. If it's weighted more heavy, just depends. But obviously that's quite good, moving that basis way down. Zim, another nice thing is we moved our Zim basis way down. Zim is down to 18.84. Now I hadn't sold any of that, but we got in nicely at some low values. And then I had some of these options. I had done a bunch of selling options, but picking up a little bit here and there. But the biggest thing is that there was a lot of good movement on the January 27 calls. So I actually, got a bunch more of those in there. I think I had bought mine at 1.5, and I was selling them for more. So, um, basically that sort of paper. Well, I mean, I took, part of why my loss wasn't bad is that, on paper, I had gone, I think my those 19 calls had been in there at about $2.40 a share, and when you're going across many thousands of shares, that's quite a lot of money. But we had gone from 240 and we had bought it back at $1.5 a share, so pocketed off of that. What is that? 90 cents a share, but off of many thousand shares. But the good thing is, although it looks like it popped even more, but hey, it's whatever. I'm not gonna complain. But I got in a bunch of that. I had sold some of the options profitably. I had these June 19s. I didn't make a whole lot, but I mean, I pocketed about $60. Selling some of them back. But the biggest thing is I wanted to sell them back so I get back in on these long options which are going up. So averaging about $1.70. So I mean, actually, that really helps me because because I had bought them back at $1.50 and now I'm selling them again at 170, the exact same option. Now I don't have as many of them in there, even though I've got many more Zim shares. The big thing is well, not many more, but I've got significantly more. I have significantly more Zim and NLY in this. The one thing is Income Realty is not here anymore, but it'll just say good riddance to that. No, not really, but this is a high yield, so that kind of was a little bit of a different one. You know, I'm liking where we are. I think the margin here is much safer. Obviously, we got some cash coming in, and obviously, I'm gonna try to work it down a little bit or grow it out without increasing it to make it more safe over time. But I'm liking this. This is a lot higher yield, a lot better potential. But we got a lot of short options in here as well. That's another thing too. Is I kind of have having some preference to short options. If things start to get a little weird, it's much easier to, you know, um, you know, buy back a short option and then make a sale than a long option. Well, the other thing too is it's also collecting cash, because the long options are all unrealized. They move around a lot, but you're not really realizing it. So I'm wanting to realize more. So, I've got those short options. I still got 6 of them. I mean, I had wanted to sell all of them, but I didn't sell all of them. I'm not sure why, somebody bought a lot, but they left 6 of them. I guess I had 26 and they bought, is that right? I don't know. Let's not worry about that, how many. But they bought a lot of them and all of them. It was kind of strange. But hey, it's cool. I can just let those run till June and collect it. Big thing is, kind of the NLY, kind of, from the past, well, because I got my basis down, I sold at 19, which is right at my basis. 24 cents average on them. Obviously, it kind of popped right at the end of the day, but whatever. Again, but that's a short one. That's like barely over a month. That's a month and a couple days. So that's a nice one because that yield, that 24 percent 0.24, I think you multiply that. If I did do that 12 times, which is insane, but that's actually more than the 15% yield. That would be like a 70% yield. So this was like, between the dividend plus the options, this is like 30% yield in there. Pretty nice. But I mean, obviously, I don't think that's going to keep happening. But the other thing too is, I mean, because there's a good chance of this something like this getting called. Because I think that, obviously people are real jumpy right now, and that's the sort of thing. Why the price is down a lot. But I think there's no real reason that that thing won't run up and move through 19 and maybe even get called at some point. So I mean, you can do that, but there's a lot of risk getting called. But on the other hand, I'm not entirely, while I get called at 19, I'm only picking up a penny per share of capital gain. Although actually, technically, because it's kind of front-loaded high, I'm probably taking a capital loss. But the big thing is that if it goes up, kind of wait. Maybe there's a little bit of weakness, and I can buy it down, move the basis even better. But I'm liking where I'm feeling on this. But it's just a lot of patience here, obviously. I don't want to like last time things got a little honky. Um, but I mean, on the other hand, I think that this is looking pretty. My leverage in the other one was like around 2.0. This is 1.77. Plus, I've got a lot more potential to get income fairly quickly in. I've got I got 1,300 in dividends coming in. I mean, that's not huge, but I mean, it'll make a big difference on the leverage. Plus, the short NLY options going off every month. I mean, that's not insignificant, because I basically sold $462 of that. And if it does get called all 19 of those, that's like $34,000 ish. Is that right? I think it was right. I think I had calculated that before, but maybe if it's wrong. Anyway, it'll put me near zero, but let's do that. 19 sets of 100 is 1,900 shares times a 19 strike is 36,000. Oh my goodness. 19 times 19 is 36 1,100. Oh wow, that's more than my entire margin if that gets called. So that'd be that would actually put me into having a credit balance, especially with the dividend coming in of 1,300-ish. So I mean that's pretty strong. I'm liking what I'm doing here. Basically I've got in a lot better. So a lot higher yield, lower share price. So I mean, I think most of the loss was on a wide price, but I mean, since I bought an even bigger position at a lower price, basically, comparing that price to this price, I saved 4,500. So plus, that I'm actually getting all the Zim options back, or a lot of them back at actually a higher long-term price. I'm actually thinking, while it may not feel great on paper, um, you know, that margin call, it actually has benefited me as I'm rebuilding. Obviously, it'll take some time, um, but also with these shorter options, I think that that's going to actually pay off quite a lot. Be patient with them, and then maybe at the right moment, I just go some longer ones. Um, but I think that's where we are, liking where we're going. It's about $100,000 portfolio again, but a lot less fluff. It's a lot more hard hitting. So, all right, till next time, peeps.